Welcome to another episode of We Are Amada, and I have here Michelle Reed. She is the owner and president of Amada Senior Care in Pembroke Pines, Broward County area.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And here's what's great about Michelle. So many of you who are thinking about entrepreneurship will, I think, really understand where Michelle is coming from. And so many of our entrepreneurs have had amazing careers at such incredible high levels. And so if this is you, I think you're really going to appreciate this interview. So Michelle, I'd love for you to start with your background.
Okay.
What were you doing before Amada Senior Care?
Okay.
And then I love your story about how you found us.
Wonderful.
So I'd love for you to share that for us.
Sure. Thanks, Marcos. So my background is in retail and wholesale. I worked for over 10 years for Burdines, a department store, which is now Macy's. And then I decided to go on the other side, the vendor side, and I worked for Perry Ellis International for almost 25 years.
Wow.
So during that time, I went up the ranks, and when I left, I was senior vice president of all of the e-commerce. So previously, I ran our e-commerce sites during the pandemic, and then I was in wholesale developing our business for Amazon and other big retailers like Walmart, etc. So
Wow.
in that position, it was business development. So I did a lot of marketing as well. And when I was in running our e-commerce sites, I did a lot of digital marketing because I ran that as well.
So you saw so much. I mean, you were in a period, I think, did you watch the show Mad Men?
I'm aware of it, but I haven't watched it.
I think there were these periods in our lifetime or before our lifetime that were significant in an industry. I think you were in that period.
Yep.
COVID, digital marketing.
I was also flying during 9/11, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's some big events.
Some big things that happen, right, in our professional careers, and you were such at a high level. What was okay? So you're doing this. What drives amazing accomplishment in retail to be at a position of seniority to then wanting to launch a business? What was going on that led you down this path?
So running my own business was always something that I was interested in, but I needed the security of the finances. My brother's an attorney, and he had worked for corporations and also for himself. And I always wondered, why couldn't I ever do that?
Yeah.
And I didn't think I could ever make a bold decision like that. And so it was exactly 1 year ago, September 12th, that my position at Perry Ellis was eliminated after almost 25 years.
Wow.
And it was traumatic because you're forced with, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? I wasn't very happy towards the end there, but I was so used to it, and I'd been there so long that I felt like I would ride it out and just be there till the end. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to do next, I was thinking about my family. I have a husband and a 12-year-old daughter, so I didn't want to have to travel a ton.
Right.
I didn't want to have to start over and transition, and it just was really, really overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
So I decided on LinkedIn to do open to work, and I did it for 1 day because it goes out and it alerts a bunch of
recruiters
and
right.
everything. And I took a phone call from somebody that said they had a coach who wanted to talk to me. And I didn't really know what that was, but I thought it can't hurt because I have to be open to everything.
Right.
So I was looking for other opportunities on LinkedIn, and I interviewed with other companies, but in different arenas, different concepts. And, I just kept saying, what else could I do with my skill set? And I didn't know that answer. So I met with the coach. His name is Hammond. And he actually works for the Entrepreneur Source, which is another franchise company.
Yes, that's right.
And after about a month, we met every week, And he did a bunch of assessments,
Mm-hmm.
including the disc profile, a bunch of things. And I've always loved that
Right.
throughout my career. And I always thought it was so amazing how it pegged me pretty close to how I viewed myself.
Really? Yeah.
But it gave me the opportunity to not get stuck. Gave me the opportunity to think about the possibilities.
That's interesting.
Because I was in a traumatic situation where very easily I could have gone into a dark place
Sure.
and been, I was the primary breadwinner. Like there was just a lot going through my head at that time. So he helped
I think
me.
there's so many people that can relate to that.
I think so too. And being in the
It's
corporate world
yeah.
and, not wanting to work for someone else, but having to work for someone else and wanting to be valuable, but you're not really valuable. And it's just it never really aligns with my ethics and morals, but it was something that I did pretty well because I started from the ground up
Yeah.
and I became senior vice president. So it was a journey. I will say that I was very grateful to get laid off. I wasn't grateful for how they handled it, but
Sure.
I was grateful.
But you were okay, but even though it was traumatic, are you saying you're grateful now, or even then you're like,
No,
I'm
I
grateful
was
to be set free? Or how?
I was grateful for this opportunity for me to figure out and do something that I never thought I would have the chance to do.
Because otherwise, you probably would have just
I would've-
you
yeah.
would have stayed.
I would've
As miserable
stayed.
as you were,
Yes.
you would have just stayed.
I would've
Because
stayed.
that's
Yes.
it's funny how sometimes you need a little
Push.
push.
Yep. And I really am thrilled that it happened. And I was presented after about 6 weeks of working with him, and I was presented with 3 different opportunities based on my priorities as far as finances, family, and they were very different opportunities. One of the things that he knew about was that in the past 5 years, my father had dementia, and my brother and I, after my mom passed, is when my dad got dementia, but it developed
wow.
pretty quickly. And so we had to take him out of his house, and he spent part-time with me in Broward County and part-time with my brother in Dade County, and we had a caregiver going back and forth until it was just too much. And we had to find assisted living,
Right.
and I didn't even know agencies exist. I didn't know any
No,
of that.
and it's funny, nobody does.
It's like crazy
Yeah,
to me that
yeah.
there's so many,
And-
especially in South Florida.
and no one's prepared, right? No,
right.
you probably never even we don't think about it.
Right. You're not
until
proactive
you're
about
forced.
something. Right.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you're forced, you're forced.
Yeah.
So there's no waiting and seeing what
No,
can happen.
no.
So I began my journey, and I would say my favorite part of Amada was the discovery call.
Oh, interesting.
I felt that it was amazing that such top executives would spend their time with people that they didn't know if they would be onboarded or not. And I had only ever talked to one other person with the company, except for some phone calls, but I
Right.
didn't really know what any of that meant.
I think so. Your discovery day, probably Chad Fotheringham went
Right,
through our
right.
values and
Right? It
Yeah.
was Chad, it was yourself.
uh-huh.
And what I remember about you was you were in your car because you had to go pick up your child.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would never be happening at my previous company. And I was like, that's refreshing because,
That's cool.
I had a digital job and I felt like I could do it anywhere.
Yeah.
And the one thing about my previous company is you were never trusted. And as an executive, that was always tough for me. So being part of a company that it's up to me, I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
anything else.
No.
And I can do my job from anywhere in some cases. And in other cases, I have to be in person. But it's pretty exciting.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. It's very nice of you to say. Chad has we do the Discovery Day. If you guys are wondering, Discovery Day is as you go through the process of Amada Senior Care. Eventually, we've talked to you for quite some time. You've talked to us, and you've even talked to some of our franchise partners about their experience. And we invite you to Discovery Day. And Discovery Day, I'm trying to figure out how many we've done, but it's always run with Chad Followingham or Tafa Jefferson, who are really the two founders of Amada Senior Care. And I probably count on one hand the discovery days that they weren't there. That it was just impossible for them to be there.
And Chad had been in the corporate world.
Yeah, he was a Pfizer guy
Yep.
for 12 years or so.
Right. So I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
Because making this shift, everyone wants to make the shift out of working for a corporation, but how many people can really do that successfully?
Yeah, it's very tough. Mm-hmm. Tough, but like you're now in how many weeks open right now?
So the process to get your licensure in Florida is pretty tough. So it took me about almost 6 months to get my license, and that was really rushing.
Yeah.
So I got my license at the very end of June. So I've been open for about 10 weeks.
Yeah. And you're here now at the annual conference.
Yes.
Getting to meet everybody. Has that been valuable to be here?
So the most valuable part is meeting with people that have done this for over a year, up to 10 years, because right now I've become really close with some of my teammates, other owners in South Florida and in Tampa. And from the very beginning, even before Amada University, every Friday we have a call and we talk about what we're doing, because we're in the same exact spot, but we're all doing things differently and focused on different things. So we have learned so much from each other. And we do that every Friday. We decided to go to Amada U together.
That's awesome.
And then we're here together here too. But I don't even remember what my point was with that.
Well, just meeting everybody and being able to be here at the conference.
Right. So for me, I'm really good with the business side, but the healthcare side was very new to me.
Sure. Yeah.
And running a business and knowing what to do exactly and it's been invaluable learning from people that have done it so well. Mm-hmm. So I've really taken the opportunity while I'm here to meet with key owners.
Yeah.
And I did a little of that beforehand because my daughter's a dancer and we had nationals in Knoxville, so I met with Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Pell, no way. That's so cool.
And I had heard great things about Gwen. So she spent an hour and 45 minutes with me on the phone. So I find that people are generous with their time here, which is something else that I wasn't that familiar with.
Right.
And I'm a giver, not a receiver, so it's hard for me to ask for somebody to tell me what they're doing well. I like to be in control, and I like to be the one doing things well.
Yeah.
So it's been refreshing that people are so open to sharing what's worked, what hasn't worked, and to sharing stories.
That's awesome. Now, something that I wanted to have you talk about is there's 3 businesses in Amada Senior Care. You have home care, you have placements, and you have staffing. Mm-hmm. And you took placements quickly. And tell us a little bit about placements, what we do, and why it is so important, and just, what has that been like for you and your business?
So I know that placements is newer for Amada, but what I thought was great about it is it gave me a reason to get out there while I was waiting for my license. So we really got out there and started meeting some of these potential referrer sources. And although at the time I think we got one placement, but it really opened the doors for me to have a discussion and have a reason to have a discussion.
Right.
So I wasn't licensed yet, but that's coming. So we really got out there and we utilized some of the forms provided from Amada, this sales mapping guide to decide what SNFs to go to, what adult daycares. We just put the list together, and I onboarded with Placed, which is the software.
Right.
And going through training with them, and they're very successful in this space. So it was just a great way to get out there. And then just recently, I got 2 really great placements in the last month. So
that is amazing.
Can't wait to get paid for those.
Yeah. And what's really cool about placements, and for those of you, that was my phone. For those of you who may not know, placements is amazing because if home care is not ideal, then having the family needs help to figure out where dad can go, where mom can go, and even just approaching the subject, because so many families are probably hesitant to talk to dad about, well, you know, home care may not be possible, but there's an assisted living. There's a lot of stigma with that, and it's difficult for them. And so the advocacy that we do and the work we do with the family to help them figure out which home and where and all that, it's so valuable for the families.
So for me, it helps me understand that I'm true advocating for the family. I work with a lot of families where the siblings or the children live out of state.
Right.
So it's a very difficult journey for them in an unknown place. So it did help that I had that experience.
Yeah.
So I could share how that was transitioning my father, because he did not want to go, but then he loved it 2 days later.
Right. Right.
You know, so it's just having the ability to say, now that I have my license, we can help you age in place at home, or we can help you find the best facility to move into.
Yeah, whatever's best for them.
I say age your way.
Age your way. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
My little tagline.
That is really good. It comes from the marketing in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I did was I joined my Chamber of Commerce right away. So I started meeting a ton of people and started networking and going to a bunch of events that way. So I ended up meeting some people at assisted living facilities. So one of the ones that I just placed was the sales counselor, and it was great because I walked in, we felt like we knew each other.
Wow.
So just getting out there and immersing yourself and not being scared to just get out there and meet people, and you never know how it's going to come back and help you.
Yeah, you just have to get out, right? You have to get, because you never know. Even sometimes you go to a referral source and it's the wrong referral source, it doesn't work out, but while you were doing that, you meet somebody or something happens. I can give you an example. Yes.
So in South Florida, it's very big for medical centers. There's a ton. And I thought this would be a great niche at the beginning, because everywhere we went, nobody was really going to them. But what I found out is all their patients are Medicare Advantage patients. Okay. And we don't accept Medicare Advantage as a payment. So at first I was like, we're spinning our wheels, this is crazy. But one of the leaders that I met from Chen Medical, which is a pretty big, they have several facilities in South Florida, he was invited to go to a big event for a company that does a lot for high-end clients as far as investments. They also do long-term care insurance. So next week on Thursday, I've been invited to their event where they have 6 vendors. I'm one of their vendors, and 50 to 60 clients are going to go around to the different areas. Wow. And I would not have gotten that opportunity if I had not been out there and met this gentleman who remembered me, even though we haven't been able to work together on anything. So
that, and man, it's what we always talk about with folks looking at Amada. They say, and I'd love for you to chime in on that. You're doing it right now. So I had a question. This gentleman that is looking at the business, and everyone usually asks, they say, okay, what is the one thing I need to make sure I do to make sure I don't fail? And you talked about, making this transition from corporate America to starting a business. The only reason people don't is that fear.
Yes.
And
finances.
That's true. Yeah. And finances, right? Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, you're right. Finances. What the other thing you talked about is, well, what would I do?
Right.
Well, I'm not an inventor. I don't have this light bulb. Exactly. Right? Okay, so just general fear. I'm not an inventor. Finances. So there's more than one reason. Yeah. And
you have to be bold to make that kind of...
Yes,
and I would not consider myself a bold person, but I was just in that point of my life that it was good timing.
Yeah, I think you've always been a bold person. I think it's just after 25 years...
I settled in.
I think the boldness gets kind of knocked out. Yeah. Because I don't... And in fact, and probably not rewarded.
Correct.
There's so much of corporate that does not reward boldness.
Correct.
And so taking a risk is so scary in corporate America.
Yeah.
So okay, so if I was to ask you, and listen, you've achieved so much in this short period of time. I know because you're so driven that to you it may not feel like that, but you multiply what you've done by another year, another 2 years, another 3 years, and I'm so excited to see where you're going to be.
Me too.
Yes. So what would you say to somebody that is looking at Amada Senior Care and they ask you, well, what is the one thing I need to make sure that I do to make sure that if I make this jump, I don't fail?
I think the biggest thing is that you can't give up because it's a crazy business. And I feel like at the beginning with my clients, I have stories that I couldn't even imagine. And it is tough. And even my husband is like, what are we doing? And I just believe in the end goal. And I believe in this company and its leadership. And that helps rise me up and give me the motivation to do it. And then the other thing is you really have to be flexible because what you think may have worked one day, but it may not work the next day, and you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
You have to have that sense of urgency.
Which is one of our values we talk about is urgency in all things.
Correct.
And it's true.
Sit back and you just have to keep trying new things, and you got to keep moving. And for me, it's about advocating for families, helping them age their way. And I would say that it's almost like I want to offer concierge service because I do so much more for the families than they can even imagine. And some of the people didn't even become clients because their family member passed away. But I've gotten amazing reviews from it. I've gotten texts that just make me cry because I know that I've helped them in their journey, even though it didn't end where we needed it.
You didn't financially benefit from it.
Right, but
still,
I benefited so much because I view everything as a learning. And I had some people say, you're spending too much time. And I'm like, no, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
And I get to make that decision now.
I know, that is so cool.
Yeah.
You get to spend the time as much as you want.
Exactly.
Well, we are so lucky to have you as part of our family.
Thank you.
You're so accomplished and lucky also in the way that just cosmically that it all came together when you had that push and you had to make that decision that Amada was there.
Be bold.
Be bold.
Be confident. I went through so many years of learning how to drive business that I wasn't sure how those skills would move over, but it's been a great transition. I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned in my career because I think it would have been much harder transition. I'm not scared to talk to people. I'm not scared to present things that I might not know 100% about.
Right.
Fake it till you make it. But I do my research. I have incredible people that I work with and meet every single day. So I couldn't be more grateful. And it's so much greater to sell a service rather than a product. And make a difference in people's lives.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Well, for those of you that are watching, thank you for being here with us and watching another episode of We Are Amada. If this is your first episode joining us, listen to the rest and reach out, and we'll walk you through the discovery process. And maybe someday you can come to Discovery Day and meet Chad Fotheringham or Tafa Jefferson.
Yes.
And maybe someday you can be here at the Amada conference and be on one of these interviews. It'd be really fun.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you,
Thank
Michelle.
you.
Appreciate you.
Thank
All right,
you.
everybody. We'll see you all soon.
Okay. Bye.